Hello, welcome to episode 68 of the Focus on Gaming podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Black Ops 6 campaign. Cloud gaming is going to be our probably biggest discussion. We're also, the PS5 Pro specs have been revealed because the release date is this week, but the embargo is still on actual description of how well it performs. So we're going to be looking at the specs that have been released. My name is Duncan, and I'm joined by Tom.
How you doing?
I am all good, all good, all good. How's yourself?
Not bad, not bad. I haven't been doing much gaming, but I hear you've been doing a lot of travelling.
Yes. I've been off to Poland for a few days. Nice. I had some beer brewed vodka. So it was vodka basically brewed from beer. Pivovica. Oh, it was very nice. Yeah. Going off to see some friends, went to Auschwitz, that kind of area down sort of south of Poland. Yeah, it was really, really nice. Highly recommend it.
Sounds good.
I did do a little bit of gaming. I took my Vita with me and I was playing Puddle, actually. That game is actually really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have to get the fluid to the end.
Yeah.
But you have fires and things that are flicking just everything's trying to stop that puddle to get to the end of the level. So that was a bit of sort of, oh God, I can't believe that Vita's retro. Bit of retro gaming for. I did take my amp on it, but mine wasn't. It wasn't turning on. I think I may have used a higher voltage charger, and it's now crying for a low voltage charger or low wattage. Gaming has not been happening that much in the last few days, but I have been gaming. I have, as I said in the intro, I have finished the Black Ops 6 campaign. I'm not a Call of Duty multiplayer player, and I don't own many of the games, but it was on Game Pass, so I'm going to play it. I've played through Modern Warfare 3 campaign, and I think overall, it has the same description as Modern Warfare 3. It's a Call of Duty campaign. You run along, you shoot a load of stuff, you get to the end. Although, this time, they have actually made a few of the levels almost like Hitman, where you can... I did a whole level without actually... Well, I did shoot somebody, but I shot somebody with a silenced weapon. And... Other than that, I didn't make any alarms. There was different ways how you could complete the level, and I got to the end without raising a single alarm, and got there was a challenge or an achievement. I don't know, something that I got. And so it overall it is flashy, bangy, typical Call of Duty. But yeah, there's these few levels dotted in and out in and about there that you can choose how you approach it. You can do it stealthily, where you can kill everybody if you want, or you can kill one person who's looking at one place, so you can then go around and knock somebody else out, hack into a computer. I say hack into it, press a button and then do some code thing. And yeah, it was very enjoyable. The story is typical Black Ops, in that you get to the end, you're like, I think I know what happened. I know they're the baddies, and I shot lots of them, and I know that we won. And there's a horror section as well, where you are gassed, basically, and you are hallucinating horrors that jump out at you and have burning eyes and all that. It basically uses the assets from Zombies mode and tries to make it scary. But yeah, it was a lot more enjoyable than Modern Warfare 3. I felt I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I will still not touch it again. I literally finished the campaign, which took quite a while. It was a fair length. And then I played one solo round of zombies, which is never a good idea because zombies is definitely a group activity. Because as soon as you're down, that's it, you're down, and game over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite easy to open up different areas, and I'm sure if you enjoy Call of Duty, that'd be great. There's already hundreds and hundreds of secrets being found in the levels, and that's always been the thing with zombies. And yeah, so
all in all, thumbs up.
All in all, yeah, thumbs up for being free on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but I will never touch it again.
It won't be something I'll be playing. I mean, as I said, it's too many controls for me, but I still play the mobile version. In fact, I reset my account about 2 weeks ago and played along, and I thought, okay, we'll see how we go. So got man of the match for the first 12 matches. And then
Nice.
it instantly boosted me up to pro level 2, I think it was, from like nothing to that. And then I was terrible.
Yep.
Because everyone's so good at that level that I realized I really needed to maybe go back down to Pro 1 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I played the mobile one for a few rounds, and it was at the point where I was just like, I might as well just run around with a dagger. And I did. I just ran around with the dagger, and people would, couldn't hit a barn door. And I was just running around, stab, and getting 30 kills to other people's 6. And then I thought, at some point, either the bots are going to stop, and this is bot matches that he's putting me in, or it's going to put me up to a level where other people are, well, a lot better than me. Yeah, similar. So it's unlike PUBG Mobile, which I played one round, which I'm pretty sure was probably bots. I won it, got a chicken dinner, and thought that's it. I'm not going to play this regularly, so I'm just going to stop there. So my my win ratio is 100% wins in PUBG Mobile. Yes, and it will never change because I won't play it again.
I will allow my my rank to drop now deliberately. But other than that, yeah,
drop a few grenades at your feet.
Yeah, I feel it's necessary.
So, so yeah, the PS5 Pro specs. So we recorded this on the 4th of November because I've been away, and yeah, the PS5 Pro. There is still an embargo on reporting how well it plays everything and anything, but Digital Foundry have described and put a screenshot up of the handbook, which has the specs in it. So we now know that it's a 16.7 teraflop GPU with an AMD Radeon RDNA-based graphics engine. There you go. And it's the CPU is x86-64 AMD Ryzen Zen 2 8 cores 16 threads, and it has 16 gigabyte of GDDR6 RAM, and it has an extra 2 gigabyte of DDR5,
which is upgradable as far as I'm aware.
No, that's the memory. That's the RAM. The storage is.
That's it. Sorry, the storage.
Yeah, the storage will be upgradable, similar to the because it's got the expansion port, so you'll be able to upgrade it. But it does come with a 2 terabyte. So it's the whole basic number of the teraflops is not what was being leaked, and but it is still a lot higher than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X were. So
considerably higher, actually. The original was 10.6 teraflops, wasn't it?
Oh, there you go. And I think the Xbox was 11 or 12 something.
Yeah, I think 11 something. Yeah.
So there wasn't that much difference, to be honest. And the Xbox had the right in their adverts to go, "We're the most powerful console," and they were, but not by a massive amount. It's you've always had the console that's slightly more powerful in the console wars, from the Sega, Nintendo times. But yeah, so this will mean ray tracing and higher frame rates and higher frame. If you've got a 240 hertz monitor, then yeah, you'll get a lot better. But it's £700. It's £700. just buy yourself a normal PS5 unless you've got the money. If you've got the money and it's really, really actually spare, and you've got a fantastic TV or monitor, the technology is worth it, but equally, just get yourself a normal PS5 and about 5 more games.
Yeah.
I mean, if games are £60 to £70, and it's an extra £300 or 200 something pounds on the full price of a brand new PS5, yeah. So that's 4 to 5 games, 3 or 4 games, full price. Yeah, but that's been something that we said many times.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way it's going. I mean,
yes, it is.
We've said it before, and we'll say it again, that PS5 Pro is allowing the Sony brand to bridge the gap between the PS6 and the PS5.
And they're testing the water with this. They're testing the water. But yeah, the technology's there. The technology is great. The technology will make your stuff look better. It will swallow up a little bit more electricity. It's not as bad as some were possibly prophesizing. It's a maximum rated power of 390 watts, which apparently the original PS5 was 340.
Yeah.
But equally, that nowadays they have quite good. When you turn off your PlayStation 5 and your Xbox Series X, they do have quite good low power usage. So that'll just be when you've got the top game doing ray tracing at 4K. You'll be using a lot of power.
I mean, if you're going to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro, then buy solar panels as well and save yourself the hassle.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not as, if you've got a high-end PC, which is more powerful than this, you're going to be sucking a lot more power. I mean, 390 can be just your GPU on a high-end PC, if not more than that. So, yeah, there you go. But on a PS5, you could do cloud gaming through PS Plus. See, you had segued again. It was really, really smooth. You probably didn't spot it.
I like what you did.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I know.
You should be on a podcast.
I should, shouldn't I?
You should.
Well, on a professional one, you mean? So, cloud gaming. Do you? I obviously talk about playing on Xbox cloud gaming quite a lot. Do you actually currently cloud game at all?
Occasionally, I will dip into a Game Pass subscription when it's cheap. But no. Although
do you streamed on PlayStation at all?
I have the subscription, but if I'm honest, I've just lowered it down to the basic package at the moment because I have it for the kids more than me, and I own most of the games that are on it, so I don't need to stream them. But the kids don't play them either, so there's no point in them having the big package. So I've got them the basics. They don't use that.
At the end of the day, if you've got kids who just they're like, I want to play Fortnite, I want to play on Minecraft, excellent. Then the basic one it is for you, because
Yeah.
my boy, I've got these so many games. I own even without Game Pass. I think I own about 700 or 800 games on Xbox, like from the Xbox 360 era onwards. And yeah, he's probably played 20 of them. And some of those have been me forcing it. So, yeah. So, well, did you know? I didn't know this. Cloud gaming has been around since 2000.
I did.
That just blows my mind, because I think I first had broadband. Obviously, broadband was around for a couple of years or a few years before I got it, but I got broadband in around 2001, and I played various games online via dial-up, and the fact that people were already doing cloud gaming 24 years ago, it's
Madness,
just,
isn't it?
it is. It's yes. So it was a thing called G Cluster, apparently. They introduced it in 2000, but it was released in 2003, and apparently in some form or another, it's still going. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, it's still going. In July 2016, G Cluster was acquired by the Broad Media Corporation, apparently. So whether it's part of them, but it was it's not it's not cloud gaming probably as we think of it now.
No, it's a bit different, isn't it?
It was used IPTV boxes, apparently. Yeah, so I think the first thing the ones that we've heard of, though, what would you say is the first one? Is it going to be OnLive?
I would say OnLive or Ouya.
Right, well,
sorry.
Ouya. Well, OnLive was, I think, beat Ouya by I think a good 7 or 8 years, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, those are the two standouts for me. But I mean, OnLive was
OnLive. OnLive was great. The technology, again, it was so OnLive was officially launched in June 2010. So broadband was well established. I think the speeds required were quite widely available. I think in the UK, I think most towns and cities had fast enough internet. And then, as well as they spread themselves out in how you could access it, because there was an app on PC. I think they had an Android app as well.
They did.
And they also had a console, which I do believe you said you have, don't you?
I do. It's in my loft at the moment, but
obviously it's just a black box now. It doesn't do bugger all, does it?
Not that I can find, no. But I am going to connect it up, but I need to find the controller as well. But I mean,
the controller was. I was looking at a picture of it. It looked like a Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller. So, I'm just trying to think. 2010. Okay, yeah. So they probably did copy the 360 design, but it looks actually sort of almost like the Xbox One version. So maybe the Xbox updated it in accordance with OnLive's copy.
It was weird because that system you could jump into, you'd have a screen and there was all these multiple screens and you literally could just tap on a screen and join the game exactly where it was, or you could sit and watch someone else playing. I mean,
it was absolutely outstanding, and the technology for the time, because though it was still updated all the way until 2015, I think it eventually shut down.
Mm.
And I remember I got it because they were giving away a Lego Batman for free if you downloaded the Android app. And I had a PC at the time, so I downloaded the Android app, I installed the PC app, and then half an hour later, probably 10 minutes later, I was playing Lego Batman. Now, I do remember it being a bit like, when your YouTube videos are buffering and everything's really low resolution. So you'd get that quite a bit. But back in those days, I make it sound like it was the dark ages, but back in those days, having that occasionally was still sort of, I didn't have to install this. I didn't have to, do any settings or anything. I just clicked on that and started. And like you said, the app was great because it would show the game working. Absolutely loved it. So
great.
I didn't buy. I didn't. I was gonna say I didn't actually support them because I didn't buy the console. I used the free trial. I just claimed the one game and never gave them any money. So I probably am guilty of being part of the reason why they died. But
I didn't buy either, Duncan. They sent me a unit to review back in the day with the controller and a really nice box that came with it. And I played it. I had a free subscription for 6 months.
Did the subscription include games? Or was it just to access the service?
No, I think I had my free subscription allowed me to access any game I wanted.
Okay.
And I have to say, it was fantastic. I mean, PlayStation bought the damn infrastructure. I mean, that says it all. It was fantastic. There was no latency. There was load times were minimal, considering how slow internet was back in the day of that period of time. It was early broadband, shall we say. I can't fault it. It was fantastic.
I mean, it wasn't perfect. I mean, people complain about Xbox Cloud Gaming compared to Stadia. And yes, but Xbox Cloud Gaming works a lot better than OnLive did. There's no doubt that. But for the time, and if they were still going and had become a success, I'm sure they would have been absolutely brilliant. And they had a desktop streaming as well. So that if it wasn't just gaming that they tried, they did do the same thing as GeForce Now, where you could have a desktop Windows via a tablet. But they went all the way to 2015, but Sony basically bought all of their patents in 2015, and they were shut down. Apparently it was 2012 was original AFBC liquidation, then Phoenixed. Okay, so it died and then came back. But then April 5th, 2015, they were sold to Sony. And Sony had already bought a similar service, but one that didn't do full games, generally, called Gaikai. I'd only ever heard of Gaikai. I never actually used it. I don't think Gaikai was pretty much...
Gaikai or was it Gakai?
It's Gaikai. So I'm assuming...
Gakai it was called.
Apparently it means open sea.
I didn't enjoy using that. It wasn't very good, in my opinion.
But they basically concentrated on doing demos and getting developers on board to release demos of their games. And so they would work more with your Sonys and your EAs and things like that. And also they helped with PlayStation Remote Play. So eventually, Gaikai and all their patents were bought by Sony for. Now I saw 340 million in one place, but I'm seeing 380 million in the other. So 300 and something million dollars, which then Gaikai was basically turned into PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Now PlayStation Now, that I definitely use. It's the only PlayStation cloud I've ever used, because they did PlayStation Now on PC and they gave us 7-day trial. So that 7-day trial, there was a little game called The Last of Us that I had not played because I didn't own a PlayStation 3. So I got a 7-day trial, absolutely rinsed The Last of Us, enjoyed it very much, let the 7-day trial run out, and yeah, never had a PlayStation since either. So yeah, but even back then, I was able to play the full game of Last of Us, and yeah, it worked all right. But that was your mid 2010s, whatever it was. When did Last of Us come out? I wonder. I'm going to have a look at that now. Last of Us. Not the TV series. God's sake. 2013. So it's probably 2014, 2015. I played it. But yeah, played it via PlayStation Now. Which PlayStation Now became PS Plus cloud streaming in the 2020s. You say you don't particularly use. Do you get streaming in the basic PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, I think you do. I barely explored it at all, but it's great. I can't fault it. And even when I had the bigger package, you got a few moments where it's loading the game and then it's on. You're playing it. As long as your connection's good, there's no dropouts, no issues that I've faced, and yeah, it's great. But
yeah, the technology, I think, if we're gonna go by the best technology, I think there's one we haven't mentioned so far, and that's Stadia. Easily the best, technology wise.
Yeah.
From day one, it worked really well, and it
Terrible
works.
pricing model, mind you.
Well, yeah, it came out and they said, "Oh, we're going to have this brilliant game streaming, and we've got the technology. It works really well." And people tried it, and it worked really well. And then they announced how they were going to do it, and everyone thought, "Yay, it's going to be the Netflix of games," because this was before Game Pass and all that.
Mm.
And then they said, "Yeah, no, you can just buy games like you do with any other console." And everyone went, No. and yeah, technology wise, brilliant. Business model wise, I still use the controller nowadays. When they closed it down and it was basically public outrage that we were going to have this brilliant controller, and so they released the software to convert it to a Bluetooth controller. And
that's it.
Yeah, it's so hefty. It's got a real good weight to it. It's not heavy, but it's a proper sturdy feeling controller that works really well. And I've never met anybody who doesn't like it.
Yeah, it works really well with Game Pass as well.
Yeah. If you control it, connect it to your anything really. To your smart TV. I personally have it in my bedroom, and it's attached to my Fire Stick, so I can play the Lunar games. I still don't play them that much, though, even though they're free. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't, because I do have my Steam Deck in the bedroom most of the time as well. So there's that. Boom. So Stadia, did you get those things for free, or did you buy?
Did. Yeah, Google sent me a. Actually, did they send it to me? No, they sent me a trial subscription, to review. They sent me the controller as part of a YouTube Premium review. So I had to review YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, and Stadia as part of a package that they sent me. And I had Resident Evil for free. And
That's 7, yeah?
Yeah, 7. And I also had Destiny as well.
Yeah, because that was a big thing that they had on there, that they had Destiny that you could play, and it was cross-platform, so you could have people that playing on PlayStation, Xbox, or Stadia. And I still remember in a sale, I think I bought. I think it might have been Borderlands 3, and it was a couple of quid. I think they were really selling it off to try and get people to buy it. But then they had a subscription model, and it was the Pro. You did get some games every month. It was a bit like the games with gold.
Yeah.
Method where as long as you carried on subscribing, you still had access to all the games that had been released. And so a friend of mine said, "Oh yeah, why don't you subscribe to Stadia?" And I said, "But then I won't have all the games that you've got because you've been subscribed from day one." Now, granted, when it closed down, he was like, "Yeah, they give me like £400."
Yeah.
Because he bought the Founders Edition. So it came with the controller and it came with the Chromecast Pro or something. And he'd also got a free Stadia kit when he got a Chromecast. And that was how I got it. I got you got a free Chromecast. I think it was the other way around for me. I got a free Chromecast when I bought a Stadia kit that was £20. So when it closed down, I got a grand total of about £25 back, which was nice. I thought they did that very well.
I got nothing.
Yeah, well, you got a controller.
Yeah, I wanted the dark controller rather than the white one. And
white controllers never do very well with me because I got sweaty hands.
Yeah,
so they're pretty gross.
I at some stage would acquire the darker controller.
It's but anyway, so we'll go back to the tech for the Stadia. The tech for Stadia, the limited time I played it, I never had any dropouts. You wouldn't have known that I wasn't playing it on a console or a PC or something. It was just that good. I don't know who actually bought all their patents and everything now.
No one. I think they still own them all.
Oh, I'm surprised somebody hasn't come in and gone, well, or Xbox come in and go, hey, Google, we're still in the cloud gaming. Hasbro. The thing is, if somebody does that, then Google will go, yeah, you can rent it off us.
Yeah, they're never going to sell it.
Yeah, well, you never know. You never know. But
are you in the market?
I've got a couple of billions sitting down the back of the sofa, I think.
Well, I did hear, So when are we going on a date?
I wish. So, well, there you go. We'll go on to the one that I've got now, Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, I've been playing it since the beta because there was a beta for Xbox Insiders who had an Xbox Series X. And I think I may have even, there was one for the Xbox One as well. And originally there was about 5 games, so it was I think the Gears games, maybe Master Chief Collection, things like that. So they're first party games, and it was rough around the edges when it first started, and no doubt. But I think if you play it nowadays and you have a decent connection, unless you're playing a high level Call of Duty or something like that, you can play any game, no problem. I would say, yeah, if you're playing multiplayer and you want to, you're a real tryhard who wants to win, then don't play it. Yeah, don't play it via cloud. But any other reason, not a problem. And it's great because a game will come out and I'll be like, oh, I probably should have installed that. And it'll be 70, 80 gigabyte. And all I've got to do now is just go, click, done.
Done, yeah.
And I'm playing it. And also, Xbox, what they do is once you've played something for about half an hour, it will say, do you want to install this? And all you have to do is hold down the Xbox button and it'll install it in the background while you're playing. So the next time you're playing, it will be installed. And yeah, I've played quite a few games where I'm like, I don't know if I want to install that or bother waiting for half an hour for that 100 gigabyte game to install. And
is it right you can only play online multiplayer if you download it?
No, you can play games. There might be somewhere that go, to have cross-platform, you got to install. I don't know, but I've never come across a game where, you haven't been able to play. It's the full game. It's running somewhere on Xbox Series hardware. Somewhere, I don't know, around here. It might be in France or Ireland or the UK. And it's the full game. It's just streaming it. How it technologically works, I don't know. But the basic fact is, somewhere it's running. It streams that video to me, and it streams my control inputs to that server, and goes, "Oh, you want to turn left? Yep, okay, here I turn left." And it works really well. It works really well. But will it replace installing games?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah?
Completely. Yeah. I honestly believe that Xbox are going to go over to a streaming handheld, and that's where it's at. Boom. And then I said to you earlier, didn't I, that I think Microsoft's plan for allowing their games on other platforms will be that the background of it runs off of Game Pass, so it still counts as a customer.
Yeah, I mean, if they went on other thing is why we had a thing for Steam Deck users. There was a Decky Loader plugin that allowed Epic Game stores and it's still available. If you have Decky Loader, it allows Epic Store and other store fronts on gaming mode. So it's like the console user experience. And they submitted a standalone version so that you could install these in gaming mode. And I couldn't understand why. It was like, why is everyone surprised that this is coming up? And I'm like, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. It means that people won't buy games through Steam. Why would it? Yeah, I can get this free game and such like. So it made buying from these people easier, and so Steam eventually did go, nah, you're not having that. And if you can buy a game, if like Call of Duty Black Ops 6, if I can buy it and play it via Xbox and play it on PlayStation, and I can play it on Xbox, and I can play it on PC, why would I buy it anywhere else?
Makes sense.
And PlayStation will just go, oh, you want to do that? No, we're going to do everything we can to block that. So if they do a browser workaround, PlayStation will block that. Now, Nintendo have talked to Xbox about having Game Pass on Switch. I think we said earlier, it's Nintendo basically have said, yeah, you have a lot of games we don't, and we have a lot of games you don't. So as long as you don't tread on our toes, and we don't tread on your toes, I think that might be a possibility in the future. But it would have to be very much locked down to each company's preference.
I'm not convinced Nintendo's going to allow that on the Switch too.
Yeah, it all depends on whether they allow it through a browser. Because I think if they make it complicated, so that let's face it, the Switch is very popular amongst families and children, and if they make it complicated for the average user, they won't do it. At the moment with the Steam Deck, you can quite easily install Epic Games library games and GOG games, Amazon library games. You can install. What's the other one? Oh, but anyway, you can install them from all the other storefronts, and it's easy. But a lot of people don't bother doing it because it's even easier to just buy the game on Steam. So if they can make it just that little bit more difficult, I think Nintendo would be the most likely. I'm not saying they're likely to say yes, but they're definitely out of Sony. Sony they're just like, no, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing, and I think they want nothing to do with Xbox. As per like the cross-platform and whatnot.
Yeah. Now this is an interesting point. So Nintendo have the most affordable and possibly the best online streaming platform on the Switch, because their online play is £20 a year for the basic. I think it's £28 a year for the extended one with N64 games. And they're bringing Mega Drive games to it as well, or have already. And it works great.
Well, the thing is with that streaming, that is different to your PlayStation 5 streaming and your Xbox One streaming, because what it actually does is you've got a PlayStation 5 game that's, let's say, 30 gigabyte. You can't download that and run that without downloading it, kind of thing. But you can stream it, and it's doing the processing somewhere else. Now, if you're streaming a Mega Drive game that's 2 megabyte, what that actually does is downloads a version of it and plops it on your console, and it emulates it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so it is technically streaming, but all it's doing is streaming the game on your hardware right now.
Yeah. But to be 20, let's say it's a top package of £28 a year. Right?
Oh, yeah. It's
you just can't beat it. And now they've included
having Mega Drive on the Nintendo. Oh, God, blimey.
This is weird.
But a 10-year-old me would be going, would be crying probably.
They've also got now Nintendo Music app included in the subscription.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
And the Pokemon game.
I also saw about the Nintendo Music app, the side-by-side comparisons with YouTube Music. So it's basically it's YouTube Music, but with just Nintendo Music.
It's a complete and utter rip-off, but I mean, it's
part
fantastic.
of the package. It's great.
Yeah, and like I'm just flicking through now. There we go.
Well, way to get us banned.
No, less than a few seconds.
It was literally a second.
But it just plays it, and you know, I'm looking forward to the Mario Land soundtrack coming on it.
Because there are other cloud streaming services that you can play on most of the hardware. GeForce Now is probably the most well-known cloud computing solution.
Yeah,
and that is a way how you can stream a PC. Now, there was issues with that, which I think are a lot of them are settled, where a lot of developers started going, no, you've installed that game for that person without permission. You don't own that game. You can't install it. So they were installing it remotely or holding the software. And I think it was EA was one of the biggest ones, said, no, that's piracy. And you'll remove those from your servers right now. And this is a good few years ago, this was. And so for quite a while, you couldn't get any. I think there was Rockstar games, EA games, maybe even Ubisoft. But I think Ubisoft they settled with pretty quickly. They had all these games that you couldn't access. So it went from being you can access any game on GeForce Now because it's a computer, to if it's an indie game, you might be able to. But I think a lot of that has been settled now, so you can play a lot, if not all, your games near enough. But again, it's another one like Stadia that works really well. I've used that. I've used it on my phone before, GeForce Now. I've used it on a PC, and if you have a PC which is probably older than 6 or 7 years, then you're not going to be able to play a lot of the games nowadays. And GeForce Now, you can run it on your phone, and if you want, you'd have to subscribe, but you can play Cyberpunk 2077 on your phone in 4K. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know, but you could play it. You could play it, on your phone with a controller. But equally, you can do your word processing and your spreadsheets and your anything in a browser. So I suppose technically that means you could use GeForce Now to open a browser, to open Xbox cloud gaming via a browser. I wonder if you could do GeForce Now stream GeForce Now by remote play on an Xbox. That's
something to test.
That would be Inception. Do GeForce Now to remote play to my Xbox, to remote play on GeForce Now a PC game. Oh God, the lag would probably be unbearable.
It's definitely one you got to test.
So, but then also do that one to maybe have Xbox Cloud, get the Xbox app on GeForce Now, and then stream Black Ops 6.
I like the thought of it.
Cloudception. But no, I can imagine that would be pretty terrible for playing an action game like Black Ops 6. But if you're playing, I don't know, a point and click game or Quantic Dreams game, something like that. Although you possibly have to make this decision in about 3 seconds. Oh no, actually you got 0.5 seconds because we've got to stream three different ways first. I shall maybe have a little go at that. See how much cloud gaming I can do via cloud gaming.
I think you should. Stream that while you try.
I'd have to block out passwords and stuff there. But anyway, we'll maybe see about that.
Maybe interesting.
But no, I love cloud gaming, but I can't see it being. I don't want it to be the future. I think local installation, so digital still, but local installation, I think. I mean, you've got some things like on Nintendo, if you want to play The Witcher 3, they stream a lot of the assets in that.
Yeah.
So you have cloud computing in that sense. I think having things like that where some items are streamed is okay, but that game also has to work just with less functionality or less graphical fidelity in some way without an internet connection, I think.
Yeah.
And look at the Logitech G Cloud, which is an entirely cloud-based console. Granted, you can play Xbox Cloud Gaming, GeForce Now, PlayStation Remote Play, and PlayStation Plus Cloud Gaming. I think there are some others as well, but I don't think it's been particularly successful in terms of sales. I think It
It's not a good
was.
device, though, is it?
It's. I think it's £200 or $200,
Mm.
and everything that you could do on it, you could do on a phone.
Yeah.
So why
What's
not
the
just
point?
why not just use your phone or pay an extra £100, get a Steam Deck, and you could do all those things and install locally.
Yep. I'm with you.
So basically, buy a Steam Deck. There you go. After all the cloud gaming, I am saying buy a Steam Deck. I do now because there's two Xbox cloud gaming apps that you can get on the Steam Deck, and one is an open source one that's free, but I think you have to install and tinker with it in desktop mode. But there is one that I use called XB Play, and that is you have to purchase it from Steam. It's only about £4 or £5, and you literally install it, tap that you want to either stream or cloud game, and it asks for your login. You log in, and that's it. It remembers your login forever. So now I just literally open that app up, click remote play, and I can play my console. Which they are also apparently allowing soon the streaming of all games that you own. I'm so looking forward to this because that will be amazing.
That does sound good, actually.
It's apparently it's rolling out as like a test to Xbox Insiders. So just get the Xbox Insider app on your Xbox console if you listen and log into that. There's different rings, so you could have you can have a really tight ring or a really loose ring. And I think that they're probably only doing it with the ones who have I think it's the alpha ring, where you have the real alpha version of the desktop, the Xbox Dash World, which will have a lot of errors and problems, but you do get the features early. But there are other rings that you can join, which means you don't have to have lots of problems. I mean, I think I'm only on the sort of mild preview one. Get on there, see if you can get into this test, because that would be absolutely amazing. There's so many games that I'm like, I can't be bothered to install that. And if I could just go, I fancy half an hour playing that. That'd be quite good.
Yeah, I might check it out myself, actually.
Well, I've been playing. One thing I have been playing over the last few weeks, just sort of half an hour here, half an hour there. Red Dead Redemption 1. Such a good game.
Good game.
So good. I mean, people moaned about Red Dead Redemption 2 and the fact that they made it sort of obtuse, deliberately obtuse to do various things, to slow things down and make it seem like a older game. But this, in Red Dead Redemption 1, you couldn't fast travel easily. I remember trying to fast travel with the stagecoach at one of the towns the other day and accidentally pulling the coach driver off. As in, pulling him off the carriage, not pulling him off like with a smile on his face. So of course, then I had all the police coming after me, and I had to run out of town and stay out of town for 10 minutes. So lots of hilarity in that game.
I love those games. They're good ones.
It's so good, so good. Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, such good games. And if you ever Red Dead Redemption 2, if ever, there's so many people I've chatted to and gone, oh yeah, I played that for a couple of hours. And I really hate it when I have to say this, because I'm like, if a game isn't good in the first couple of hours, you're not going to enjoy it. But really, the first couple of hours are a slog of showing you how terrible life was in that era, and it's purposely long and arduous the first couple of hours. But once you're through that and the world opens up and you can do whatever you want, my God, what a good game. So good. And if you want to show off the Steam Deck, easily the best looking game on the Steam Deck. Cyberpunk 2077 looks all right, but you have to have it on low. And yeah, but Red Dead Redemption 2, mwah, beautiful, beautiful game.
It is very much so. Apparently,
well,
we're getting a new Alien Isolation game.
Yes. I've heard of this. Yes, they announced on the, I want to say it was 10-year anniversary of it or something.
Yes, it is actually.
Yes, because they're remastering it for some various platforms.
On no reason.
Yeah. But yeah, a terrifying game. Just it's one of those ones where you sort of it had the microphone detection, so if you made a noise, the alien, what's it called, the xenomorph would hear you, and so you see various YouTubers and whatnot who are just like they're trying to talk to the video, in their microphone. And they're like, I don't think it saw me. And then you'll just see just the xenomorph come to the locker that they're hiding in. They're like, but yeah, it's such a good atmosphere. And they nailed the 70s aesthetic.
Yeah.
Such good. If you've never played it, play that game. Especially around now. We just had Halloween.
Yeah.
And in that spirit, I did play A Quiet Place game. And yeah, it nails the atmosphere. It's very, you can tell it's low budget. And it's, some of the stealthy bits are a bit janky. And have you seen the Quiet Place films?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, especially the first one. The first one, you didn't really see the aliens until the end, and in this one, they did it a little bit where they scurried in front of a screen or a doorway or something, but yeah, it's not a 9 out of 10 kind of thing. It's good fun for a bit, but then after a while, you're like, I don't want to walk around slowly anymore, and I don't want to be being really quiet. But the sensitivity to the microphone, I did test that, and it was okay. I could make slight noises, but if I was in the same room as one of the aliens and I had to get past the alien, then even the whispers were enough for it to go, yeah, I've caught you. And and you get the normal sort of first person view of their mouth as it comes in to eat you. But no, it's a 6 out of 10 kind of thing, because it's a low budget game. They've done their best. Maybe a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
but it's not one that will be classed as a classic like the Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation was, wow, yeah, compared to this. But it's not say don't play it. Yeah, wait till it's discounted, and yeah, give it a go.
Yeah,
and hopefully in maybe a couple of years, maybe 1 year, we'll get a sequel. And let's face it, the Alien and Aliens, it was one of the few movies where the sequel was better than the original, in a lot of people's opinions. I know some people will disagree, but Aliens was so good. Game over, man! Game over!
I also enjoyed Alien 3 quite a lot, and Alien Resurrection was quite good.
Yeah, and I think the thing is they suffered from the same thing as The Godfather 3. I think The Godfather 3 is easily the weakest of the trilogy. But that's because Godfather 1 and 2 was so good. And as a film, compare it to your Paul Blart Mall Cop. Godfather 3 is an absolute piece of art. And it was the same with Alien 3. There was some, and I didn't really remember them because I think I saw Alien 3 when I was probably about 18, maybe a bit younger. I don't know, but yeah. So I remember seeing a video recently where there was this plot hole and this plot hole and this happened and this happened and why did this happen? And I was like, yeah. So there were some plot holes here and there, but yeah, it was all right. Yeah. And it was Alien Resurrection, the one where it starts off with her playing basketball and she literally just throws it behind her into the hoop.
Yeah.
And she's a clone, isn't she? Because of course she, spoiler, commits suicide at the end of 3, doesn't she?
Yeah, because 3's set in the prison, isn't it?
Yeah, 3's the one in the prison. At the end, she's got. That's why the xenomorph comes up to her and doesn't kill her because she's got a little baby one in her body, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm going to kill myself," and she throws herself into the lava or the molten metal or whatever it is, just as the thing bursts out of her. So yeah, there's very, very little I remember about it, but I do remember a couple of bits like that.
Yeah. Well,
so the Alien Isolation. Oh God, it's been a while since I played it. The main character is Ripley's daughter.
Yeah.
So it's like, spoiler, your mum's dead. Did you not watch the third film? But no, it's very good, very good. Well, we've had Alien Romulus this year as well. I haven't actually seen that yet. Have you seen that?
No, I'm contemplating watching that tonight, actually.
Well, let's know how it is because I heard good things, although mixed, but mostly good. That it was an all right watch. And that's the thing. I'm very easily pleased nowadays. So movies and whatnot. I still haven't watched the talk about video game things. I still haven't watched all of the Last of Us TV series.
I haven't. I got bored.
Well, I knew what was coming because the thing is, it is just the first game in a TV series. So I was enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I get to see easily pleased, but I've never finished it. Fallout, I finished that because I was very much was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is maybe the Last of Us for me wasn't as good, but I don't know.
Just read, incidentally, as it is also based on a video game, that we have a new Tron movie coming out next October. So it's called Tron Ares or Ares. And it's coming out October 10th, 2025, which means we're probably going to get another Tron game.
Is that TV or movie?
Movie.
A movie. Well, please, right. If any of the makers of that movie are watching, please don't give us a rubber Jeff Bridges again.
Jeff Bridges is back in it again.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't make him look like he's made out of rubber this time.
And Jared Leto is playing the lead. You know.
Okay. Jared Leto has not been the star of many positively accepted movies recently.
No, and Tron's not exactly ever been successable ever.
No, the first one was it was very much seen as a nerdy thing, and it wasn't
successful though. It just had a cult following.
It had a cult following. The thing is, when it came out, it was everyone thought it was nerdy. And it was the whole people with boys in their basements, in their mum's basement kind of movie. And the sequel didn't do it any favors, really. It wasn't marvelous. It wasn't. Again, it wasn't absolutely. Oh my god, that's a 1 out of 10 start. But it was, it was a sort of a 5 out of 10.
I enjoyed it.
Again, yeah, put me in a cinema screen and stick a beer in my hand, and I'll sit there and enjoy it. But I could, you know what? Other than rubber Jeff Bridges, I couldn't tell you a thing about Legacy. I remember there was an old Jeff Bridges and a young Jeff Bridges, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So yeah.
And there was Tron. What was the cartoon? Uprising, the cartoon. That was brilliant.
No, I didn't actually see that, but I heard that was very well received.
I enjoyed that very much. It got cancelled because the second series, I think it was put up against Smallville, if I remember rightly, and obviously it was never going to win against Smallville. And it was the time it was on wasn't attracting the right audience, so it bombed. But essentially, it was still great. So
probably still widely available to watch online if you want a bit of gaming media.
You can find it on Disney Plus, I believe. So
is it on okay. Well, I've got Disney Plus. I might have a little look at that. Yeah, actually, Tron was a Disney film, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think all the Tron movies are on Disney.
Yeah, Tron from 1982 is on Disney Plus. Tron Legacy, Tron Uprising. Yep, they are all three on Disney Plus. I suppose that was probably one of the first video game movies, although it wasn't a game based on a movie based on a video game, was it? Although they did release games based on it.
Yeah, there was a number of games. The best one I ever played was on the PlayStation 3, where you could do disc battles and the bike battles with people online. And the disc battles were fantastic. You'd run around this preset arena with like loads of jumps and areas you could run around. And yeah, you would essentially fight each other in disc battles. It was so good.
Apparently, the new film that's coming out has got Gillian Anderson in it as well. Like a bit of Gillian. Well,
yeah, it depends what she's doing.
Well, she does things that make us feel good.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. She's definitely aged very well. I won't say young lady, but still looks quite young.
He does, yeah. And I suppose on that controversial note,
yes, we've been nattering for over an hour. So, on that note, www.focusongaming.co.uk. Like us, review us on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and send us any questions
next week.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.